Technology?
What technology?
I was just checking, man. It's a classic. No technology. So this doesn't have the tripper, whipper, and...
The tripper is standard.
Okay.
Tripper is not technology. Tripper is a screen that shows you arrows. It's there. It's standard now.
Okay.
The meters are the same as the classic 350. There is a gear indicator, which I can't remember if it was there earlier or not. Please leave me a comment if you can. And with little up arrows and down arrows to let you know that you could be in a better gear than this current selection. Fuel gauge seemed to be okay, but Royal Enfield fuel gauge is a kind of iffy. Get used to your bike and then you'll realize, can you trust it or not? I think in my experience, most Royal Enfield fuel gauges you don't trust too much. The Himalayan might be an exception, the Gorillas might be an exception, but generally you don't trust them too much. That aside, honestly, nothing more to report. So overall impression, very, very feelsome motorcycle. If you live in a place with good roads, I know that you're going to enjoy riding this motorcycle. Don't buy this because it has a 650 twin, so I'm going to hustle this motorcycle.
Okay, I can't recall right now about the shotgun. Did you ride the bike with the seat also added on? You had removed it, right?
It came to us with the seat very briefly, but Royal Enfield's agenda was to not have the seat in any of the media fleets. So very, very rapidly people came and they removed the seat.
Okay. So have you ever used it with the seat?
No.
No.
But these bikes have flatter exhausts. So at least legroom wise, it's not like the Interceptor which had upswept exhaust and that used to push your feet up.
Correct.
At least from that perspective, these will be easier for two-up riding. But are they fundamentally designed for two-up riding? Looking at the seat, I didn't think so.
In one of the bikes, I remember you had said that if you load it up, like if there are two, it'll ride better. Had you said that for one of them?
It's for many of these Royal Enfields, and that's part of the context that I was given this time. Shall we go into it right now?
Okay, sure.
So I did ask Royal Enfield, how is it that there's 6 bikes in a row, suspension's gone haywire? And the only place where in this group it didn't go haywire is the Himalayan, which obviously has tremendous amount of suspension travel. It's really, really much harder to mess that up. And basically they said that it seems like they've been trying to solve for a situation where two up and with a top box, the bike should behave itself.
Okay.
They've even said that we made accommodations for a rider has been careless and not checked their tire pressures and they're under pressure and still the bike should do its job.
Okay.
And I was like, but this is a pretty extreme scenario.
Yeah.
And why would you solve for something so extreme given that statistically this is almost an insignificant scenario, right? How much should a manufacturer work to protect its users from its own products when it's their fault, the user's fault? I mean, imagine me complaining to Yamaha saying your R15 doesn't handle. Yamaha will say, what's your tire pressures? And if I am half the recommended tire pressure,
they'll adjust the bike.
Then the Yamaha guy will say, okay, so adjust your tire pressure, not let's mess with the suspension. And the R15, I'm taking it as an example because R15 has no preload adjustment at the rear. And over X number of years of riding X generations of the R15, no one's ever complained that that suspension doesn't seem to work. It sets up an agenda. I'm a sporty motorcycle, I do these things, and then it delivers that product. So in Royal Enfield's case, I think the issue is they're solving for a case that doesn't exist. Which is why we've recommended to you one-on-one on our DMs on motoring circles, etc., that if you're 110 kilos, 115 kilos, and you want to get a bear, go get a test ride. It might actually work
for you.
And we do have people in our circles who said, yes, I am heavy, and the bear actually feels very nice.
All right.
So I think the issue is for these 6 motorcycles in a row, they've basically overcommitted to how much load will be put on the suspension and really ratcheted the stiffness up. And then Royal Enfield does this absolutely nonsensical thing where all of the suspension comes at minimum preload. Which means if you're 45, 50, 60 kilos, you have no latitude to go further down and create a softer feeling at all. And it's always the rear suspension that creates a problem. It is because of this. It is because you're saying, I need to account for the rider. Okay. I need to account for the pillion also. Rear suspension comes into play. I also need to account for a fully loaded top box, which is slightly overloaded and cantilevered off the back of this motorcycle. Which makes absolutely no sense to me. But now I'm aware that they're aware, so I'm expecting things will start getting solved. This was also the first time I heard somebody from Royal Enfield talking about people who are working on current products and how to improve current products, which I've never heard from Royal Enfield before. Which means, hopefully, in the next year and a half or two, Super Meteors, Shotguns, Classic 650s, Bears, Gorillas with more reasonable suspension setups should happen. I am saying this is my expectation. Royal Enfield has not said that this is actually going to happen, but I'm hearing the first noises in that direction. For the first time, I heard that they're aware that the headlight is not too effective.
Oh.
and that they're working on what they call their third generation headlight, which will hopefully solve this for once and for all.
And this has the same headlight, of course.
This has the same headlight, of course, and that implies that there is a second generation headlight in there which will never see light of day because it didn't produce enough light in the night. So I am hearing movement at Royal Enfield, which sounds promising to me. But to me, they've also told us, look, with the Classic 350, it's an India first product and the largest sales are here. But the twins are 50-50 divided between exports and India, so they have to account for all countries. I was like, it still doesn't make any sense that we are solving for rider and pillion and overloaded top box, etc.
Hello. If you enjoyed this clip, which means you're into good conversations, and that's what we're all about. It's really hard packing in the essence of an idea into a 60-second clip. This 3-minute, 5-minute video would have given you a sense of that, and you can enjoy this entire conversation in its full glory on the MotorInc channel. So why don't you head out over there and subscribe to that, and you could subscribe to this channel as well if you enjoyed it.